Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I'm doing an entire game analysis. This is a really long form advanced game analysis that's going to teach you guys so much about Dota. The main things I'm going to be talking about is teamfight selection, matchups, and how I really feel that Summit threw this game pretty hard, to be honest, which sounds a little bit toxic almost, but I'm just being real. I think they had the outdraft. I also made a draft analysis for this game for the gameleap website if you want to check that out. That's why I made this game analysis. But I really felt strongly that this was Summit's game to win, and just through poor teamfight decision making, a couple of miscasts of spells, and some item builds I disagreed with, they managed to lose this game. And I think Neon did a great job taking advantage of the mistakes that Summit made and capitalizing on it, and let's get into it. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the gameleap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the gameleap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. All right, so this team, dude, Summit read my mind, man. This Timber's going mid, dude. That's crazy how much just kind of talk through the thought process. I mean, it goes to show, like, I feel like when you get to a certain level in Dota, like a lot of the people, you kind of just come to conclusions, right? Like these cool conclusions about like what enables a hero in a game. And just to kind of repeat why I think this Timber's going mid, or why it even makes sense, is he has a good matchup against the Tiny. I don't think it's insane. Like, you might be like, oh, it's the Q, you know, you Q the Tiny. Nah, you're not going to kill Tiny mid. You're not. Like, there's way too much regen. You just buy a bottle and a stick, you're never gonna die. You're just not. The Q on Timber's not that good. And so it is just a farming matchup. It's 50-50, but I feel like they just can't kill this Timber. Like, if he gets an early hood and he's level like 10, I don't know how they deal with him, which is why I like it this game, especially mid, you know, because I feel like they could kill Timber if he's level like 7 with a low point in chain, if he can't disengage. But I feel like if he's over farmed, which you can easily get mid, right? He can get very farmed this game. I feel like he'll just do extremely well, so I'm really curious to see this one play out. The only difficulty for Timber in this potential matchup is last hitting, but I guess that's not even fully true, because with the Q, it's like relatively easy actually. So yeah, almost gets perfect wave mid. Yeah, so this matchup's gonna be pretty stale. I'm not gonna spend much time on it in the lane. The one I'm most curious about is how this lane performs. I feel like if you know, there's a lane that wins here, it's the CK Coddle, right? It's just a devastating lane, constant chakra magic on the CK stun. I don't know why he went under tower there. But the constant chakra magic on CK stun just enables him to put pressure. He's actually already burned all of his mana this early into the game. So the Coddle is going to have to basically use chakra off cooldown. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to pressure. And yeah, it looks like their concept here is just throw stuns at the CK and blast them with it. So this lane is insanely good. This CK Coddle lane is one of the most difficult in the lane in the game to play against. It's just brutal. And we'll see how it goes. They could have maybe killed the next there. No, okay. They're just waiting till Coddle gets some mana. So this is a lane I definitely think is if this game goes in the way of Neon, I think it's going to come mostly down to this Coddle CK lane just being too much for the TV to handle. As we'll see, you know, just look at his HP, you know, and it did actually commit a decent amount of resources. One thing to note as well is every single time they blast on Coddle, if Nyx is in position, I say blast again. If Nyx is in position and the 10 stick comes out, then he can counter out the blast a little bit. He can carapace the damage, reflect it back to the Coddle, and it'll be relatively favorable for them. So yeah, let's take a look at the TBCS. How's he doing? Definitely getting crushed by the CK. That's not surprising. Looks like a potential next kill here. Wow, he got lucky on that crit. I don't know if he wouldn't have, I don't think he would have killed him if he didn't get a crit. Actually going for an early soaring here, which is kind of wild to me, because I feel like with the Coddle, you don't necessarily need it. Maybe he feels like, okay, then Coddle can just mana himself. If I can mana myself, Coddle can mana himself. But yeah, as I talked about, this lane really seeming to gonna be the win condition. It's just really easy to execute. It's just you throw everything at the CK practically off cooldown as long as he steps up relatively far. You don't dive him under the tier 1, but if he walks up to the wave, you can stun him if Coddle's in position. Coddle's not here right now, so he's not stunning, which I like, you know, understanding the discipline or when you go. So good discipline. But as we see, the net worth already coming into play, massively ahead. And the Deuce is actually beating the Mars as well. On top of that, Tiny is actually ahead in net worth of the Timber. So lane's going extremely well for Neon. If they are to win this game, I think it's mostly going to come down to the fact that they have very good lanes. Even Shaman Medusa is a nasty lane to lane against. Medusa, a lot of people see Medusa as like this late game carry. Medusa's a fantastic laner. Her level 2 spike on Mana Shield makes her one of the most unkillable heroes in the game. She's brutal, really brutal to lane against. she can just auto attack you. And if you ever go on her, you're usually not gonna be able to kill her. You're gonna overextend into the creep wave. She's gonna snake you on the way back, and you're gonna get stuck in the creep wave with like a 25% slow. And so yeah, that lane's pretty nasty. All in all, things going generally how I'd expect. Relatively even lanes throughout the board, except for the TB being almost 10 CS behind the TB. So nothing too crazy. Let's move on towards. However, there's still 1k up. The dude's actually jungling already. Why? Okay, not full-time jungling. She was just taking a cap. I guess the wave was shoved in. Let's take a quick look. Why did she jungle? Yeah, okay, she was really low with the wave shoved in, right? So she's super low. Wave here. Doesn't feel comfortable playing up. Probably gonna wait for the shaman to bring her some resources. Just too afraid of dying. Let's take a look at the Timber build. Yep, he's going for a max D. Actually bought the point booster before boots, which I don't like because I actually think the boots are really important. But yeah, I don't really like this in general. I feel like this early mana boots, it's like reasonable. Oh, Timber, the Tiny might be dead. Yeah, but I don't love the early mana boots only because I feel that you're better off buying like an early stick and then like an early cloak instead. And the reason why is because with the Soul Ring, you kind of have enough mana to be annoying. You do want the mana boots, obviously, but I just feel like you can die. Like we saw him ended up going down there. Actually, could be dead again. This would be such a throw. Oh, okay, he's fine. Okay, he's fine. That's actually ends up being super favorable because now Tiny's low HP. So this is the point in the lane where it gets really bad for Tiny, potentially. The only thing about Tiny mid is that I can just try to clear the wave, which is what he's doing. He even didn't skill his ult. So clearly he's playing in the intent of just, you know, dodging. Oh, or they might catch a TB here. This would be a huge gank. Yep, they find him. Early on the Avatos, they get the shackle. He doesn't have a point in Sunder. Oh my, oh my God. That would have been so good. Woo, all right, well. He almost got that off. Medusa's free farming bottom. Well, I say that, but she's actually way behind Mars now. Like way behind. Things really turned around. This Mars picked it up. He must have been able to static the wave pretty far back because that's kind of the only thing that would, in my opinion, explain what happened as he actually roams over. No, it decides not to. Yeah, so TV's gonna shift to the bottom side of the map. He's afraid of ganks now. I think he knows that as long as, you know, they take this tower, which they do, they could have taken it, you know, anytime in the next 2 minutes, but they decided to do it now. I think after him dying top there, he just decides that I don't want to play in this area anymore and needs to fear getting ganked a little bit. No, they're showing mid. He's fine. So he's going to flash form here. Looks like they are picking up kills. This is where the Timber is a real problem for Neon here. They don't have a great way to deal with it. This card is almost guaranteed to take the tower here. They just don't have really a good answer to this Timber. That's why they picked it, right? And the thing is, you might be like, oh, Caudal blast the wave. Yeah, but there's a Nyx, right? That's not so easy. You know, that is not so easy. And he takes down the tier 1 mid. This is where things can get a bit weird for Timber mid, but looks like he considered going top, feared the gank. Yeah, I don't really like this gameplay. I think this is the wrong idea with Timber. I don't know. I mean, they're killing him and kicking him out. The only reason why I said maybe it's the wrong idea is I kind of like when you just walk up to the tier 1s and slowly take all the tier 1s, because when you can build up reactive, you never can die. Like, I feel like he could potentially die here. So he might kill off the Caudal. Wow, they're going crazy. Okay. Builds up reactive. Good job. Good shit. Takes the ancient stack. Yeah, so this is the Timber's really coming into play here. They just don't have an answer for it. And the reason why this is really so good here is he can create chaos. He's the chaos creator. And as the chaos creator, you want to stay mid as long as possible. Because when you stay mid, you can kind of like, you can go mid, bounce to bottom. You can go mid, bounce to top. You can kind of just bounce back and forth and prevent them from like easily ganking your teammates. Because you're going to pop smokes. You're going to just give vision. So he'll clear up these stacks, which obviously takes away a lot from the Medusa. I think the enemy team has to try to gank TB here, but with the movement through the bot side, that's not going to happen. Right? They kind of cleared it out. I don't know if you guys saw what I was talking about. You see the Grim, Nyx, and Mars here? There's no way you gank through this, right? And so the Medusa shows, CK shows, goes for a Kaya first. Seems reasonable. You know, you want to be able to flash farm. They're going to be able to kill Dusa here. That'd be a big kill. I think they got her. No, they don't. They don't. Yeah, so they're overextending a little bit here, you could argue. Once again, no real answer to the Timber unless they kill everyone else, which they did. Everybody goes down. I mean, I think the big problem here is just overplaying your hand. I see this a lot, even with pro teams, and it's really something that I've avoided in pubs, and I express to any team I'm playing with now. I've only played a couple games with some teams, but I feel like I'm trying to express it more to myself and more to my teammates, and that's that when you get ahead, and you have a clear win condition. What's the win condition, guys? It's the TP Scotty, right? That's your answer, because then Dusa doesn't do anything. And the thing is, he's going to hit Scotty before Dusa is, most likely, right? You can see, look at the progression of items. D-Lance, Blade, 400 gold, completed Yasha, 600 gold on top. It's not very close, right? It's almost an 1,000 gold gap. So he's going to, and this is huge, right? Because this 1,000 gold gap is not just going to stay 1,000 gold most likely in this matchup, because this earlier Manta is going to allow him to get, let's say, 300, 400 extra gold with the first 2 usages of the Manta. That's going to make the Scotty timing come a minute earlier, and then you play on that Scotty timing. You see what I'm saying? You see how pro Dota kind of plays out like that, or like good Dota plays out like that usually? Slight gaps lead into a 3,000 gold swing if used properly. And that's why I feel like here, I don't think they need to run at this Dusa. I mean, TB's not even close. You're trying to kill this Dusa with no clear follow-up, right? She's here. Did he miss the spear? He did. I mean, maybe you can argue if he hits the spear, it just goes well, but I think even if he does, it might not be a good fight. Like, it might not. She still has this wand. I don't think she would die. It's just like one of those plays where instead what I'd like to see them do is either send the Grimstroke top or the Mars top, clear it out, farm the jungle with Timber, and then maybe look for a smoke gank when you see them split up. I just feel like you don't play mid here, because you know the enemy team is all mid. You see them, right? This is not some, it's not crazy that they're all mid. This is not some wild outplay by Neon where it's unclear that they're mid. You see the Coddle, you see the Shaman, you see the Dusa. Where's Tiny gonna be? I mean, he could go bottom, but he can TP mid if you dive mid, which I think is what happens. No, he was just mid. He was mid, and then the CK TP's mid. The CK actually brought a Blink Dagger, so he's really trying to fight. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, I think players have this idea where they want to go so aggressive. They want to close down the map, quote unquote, stop people from farming. But the problem about this idea of getting ahead and then telling yourself, this is where the Shaman counter comes into play. But you tell yourself, maybe he should have a Sanj as well. He'd probably be fine. It's this idea of like, if you try to shut people down, but you have a carry farming, you're taking a 4v5. Especially if that carries like a Medusa who, can stone gaze and throw a snake and auto attack with a D-Lance, she's gonna do 1,000 damage in the fight, as well as be a disruption. So, it's definitely one of those things where I definitely feel like these teams make this mistake a lot. So, like, this smoke I think is a lot more reasonable. They haven't shown they can get the lanes, and the only issue with this smoke is they did not clear waves beforehand. So the enemy team is not really forced to farm anything. Oh, they get a good catch here. Another missed spear. Looks like a good catch. And the thing is, the main thing here, even though they don't end up seemingly getting the... Oh, why is Medusa walking right to the trees? Ah, he messed up the chakra. No. Okay, I think he's got her. Oh my god, no. Oh, that's so sad. Oh my god, this is so sad, dude. Oh, my freaking heart, dude. This Summit team, I mean, are they lower rank by like a lot? Why do none of them have ranks? 200. Why are all of them unranked? I believe Neon is very high ranked, if I'm not mistaken. Neon is definitely the higher ranked team. I think Neon, if I'm not mistaken, is the favorite here. I don't know that. I don't know SDA too much, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But man, what a sad set of circumstances. Because the reason why this fight is better, this play is better, is now they see them spread out. The CK's showing top, the Coddle's here, and the kill attempt is not even relatively close to a tower. So this go is almost impossible to respond to immediately. How do you miss the spear? It wasn't even close. It's just so game losing, because you lose like 500 damage on Tiny or Medusa, and you might be like, oh, that might not come into play. I mean, Tiny's maybe dead here if he hits the spear. He's just dead. He's just straight up dead. Dusa might be dead. Dusa would be dead if he hit the spear. And then here he just, I hate focusing on things like this, but he just canceled the chakram. It would have killed her. Absolutely would have killed her. And then he dies because of it. He loses the kill and dies, which is like at 1,000 net worth swing. No joke, it's like an 1,000 net worth swing. That they get wiped. That could have been a 2 for nothing. Instead, they get wiped based on spell casting. It's always sad to see that in the pro scene. When you're like, these players are the best of the best, and they just mess up shit like that. It's like, it sucks. I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is. It was a good play. I think their play was great. I think their play was what I thought they should do. Not even in an egotistical, I guess it is somewhat egotistical, but for me to say it that way. But the point is that I think they did what they should have done. They let the enemy team spread out. They make the enemy team feel like, oh, we're not farming. We need to split up and farm. Then when they get that when you see that, or you get a glimpse of it, or you think they might do it, you smoke, you look for a play then. And that's what they did. Maybe they win this game anyway. Still a good Timber game. Only problem is, like, it's actually still a great Timber game. He scales well this game. I don't think the game gets worse for him in particular. So I think there's still a decent chance to win even after these hiccups. I think this game was just free if they slow down the pace and then didn't mess up that team fight. But what can you do? What can you do? Chipped vest over bulwark, really? I mean, over bullwhip. That's wild. Pupil's gift. Why? I mean, it gives you mana, I guess. That's not terrible. Right, they slow down the pace of the game, which, I mean, is fine. I think the thing is you want to pick up on Scotty, which should be coming up soon. It's a little bit late. I actually feel like you should have the Scotty almost by now. The Deuce is like only 700 gold below him, which I thought it was going to be worse than that, but I think it's because the Deuce got a few of those kills, if I'm not mistaken. She doesn't have any... Okay, she got a few assists, which I'd have to imagine plays the biggest part, because I'm surprised she's only 700 gold behind. It might sound weird. It's like, oh, but isn't Deuce so good at farming? Yeah, but so is TB. TB's like a nutty farmer, right? And he was ahead, which usually means you push further ahead, but he's not pushing further ahead. And he had a lot of space this game, too. I feel like he had more space than Deuce. So I don't know how this happened. I'd have to look back at it, how the Medusa kept up. I would have to imagine it had to do with the assists. I mean, 6 assists is a lot of gold, especially on heroes that are pretty farm. But all right, fight breaks out. It's where the Deuce doesn't have Scotty yet, so frankly, it's not a good Deuce game until she gets to Scotty, in my opinion. The reason why I say that is she does 0 damage to Mars, 0 damage to TB, 0 damage to Timber. She doesn't kill Nyx easily. She can't hit the Grim. So what is her purpose, you might be asking? Well, to basically be a body, to be honest. So, I mean, yeah, it's not a good Deuce game early game. I think, honestly, the Summit draft against Deuce is fantastic. I feel like her hero is actually so crap until, like, late, which you can play for, right? But all right, fight breaks out. I want to kind of watch the Timber from this fight. He's getting gone on. Is he just dead? This is the Shaman issue. He lives through the first go, so he completely eats the initiation, kills off the Shaman. Beautiful. There we go. I feel like this is just good matchups, right? I really think Summit has the outdraft here, in my opinion, because you see the CK goes on the Timber, but he just lives, right? He just straight up lives. He didn't click his flamethrower very early, but that's fine. The Deuce just completely dies on the side because she doesn't do any damage. The TP's gonna have Scotty now, so he's just gonna rip through both the supports and the honestly, even CK has a bad matchup against Scotty. I feel like even though it's a hero that has a lot of healing, right? CK just cannot man up through Scotty, so I definitely feel like this Tiny is absolutely worthless as well. This is why I hate Tiny as a mid. I just feel like it's like an Avatos, can be disruptive, but I don't know. I just don't like this hero as a mid almost ever. Every time I see it, it seems underwhelming as shit. Like, this guy's impact in relation to this Timber is you might be like, oh, but it's the last pick Timber. All right, they're going to go on the Timber. He's got a Sanjin Yasha, and he's got a lot of reactive built up. Usually these 45 reactive Timbers are not that killable. He didn't really get clipped by the chain as well, so can they get off a chain stun? I don't think they can really chain stun him. No, he's fine. I think this has to be a favorable fight. The BKBs come out. They got to kite them somehow. Did he really die? Wand? Chain out? He's fine. Surely they win the fight now. Everything committed onto this Timber. He doesn't die. It's got to mean that the rest of the heroes have a free fight. And that's kind of how Dota works. If you commit everything on a one hero and you don't kill them and they get spells off, your fight's probably over because the DB just has free reign. They have nothing left. There's nothing, right? Like, everything's been used. The Phantasm, the Tiny combo. There's nothing left in the tank. Yeah, this Deuce once again. Like, look at this Deuce in the team fight. That's what I mean by tough Deuce matchups here. What does she even do? Like, she like clicking the Mars and doing like 3 damage a hit. He could just, he literally could turn towards her and she would do 0 damage because of Bulwark. Like right here. I think he should just sit there. Like, he actually takes no damage. Kite out from the Nyx. This is what I mean. You can't even really kill Nyx. He kills him eventually, I think. Nope, doesn't even kill him. Alright, he dies eventually, but yeah. Oh no! Dude, these spears this game is dead, I think. Yeah, okay, but the spears this game, dude. Oh my god. What can you do? Alright, I mean, the thing is, there's a timing for Neon. The timing is not now. It's 10 minutes from now, I think, when Dusa has an item and a half or something like that. I think this Dusa needs like Silver Edge so she can break through the Bulwark and actually take out the Mars. Because you might be like, oh, it counters Timber. The thing how reactive works against Silver Edge is it doesn't like cancel out the current stacks. It only prevents you from getting stacks. So it's only a counter if he already has no stacks. And so, yeah, it kind of depends. That's like a depend matchup. But buyback from the Shaman. Uh-oh. Defensive BKB from Tiny. You gotta imagine they're playing for Roche. Unless they took it already. I think I might not have been looking. BKB out for the TB. So he's vibing now. I kind of would have... I was gonna say I would have liked to see a Sanjin Yasha from him this game, but I guess with Manta, that's pointless. It's kind of stupid. You just buy BKB. So he's got his crit stick as well. They're just playing for Roche. All they have to do is chill a little bit. Obviously, you might be like, oh, but why would they chill? They're going to let Dusa hit the time you're talking about. But it's very hard for her to farm, you know? Like, the CK is split pushing, right? The CK is shoving in top, you know? And it's like, where does she even go, you know? It's so unclear. She can hit this large camp, and then from here, it's like they can try to team fight. They're getting her farm. It's not that much, but they're getting her some farm. They're trying to get her out onto the map, get her timing, which we talked about. Okay, she gets into the jungle. I think this is a good move from Neon. They get something here. They didn't get the stack off though. They cut the mid wave. Yep, I mean she's farming really efficient here. This is what you would hope for. So looks like they forced them back. They're still playing for this Roche timing. That's the major timing here. The Dusa almost has BKB now. She has it because she disassembled the Dragonlance. So we have a timing here. It's she doesn't do any damage though. Is the problem? She still does 0 damage. She's a Stone Gaze. She's a Stone Gaze and a Scotty to the TB. But the problem is you can't even hit the Scotty with a TB because you're gonna get hit with the Scotty and he outranges you. So Simulcan comes out. They see the Medusa. They're gonna go on her. I mean, she's got a BKB. Oh no, they get the scan. Okay, so they know they're here. But I think the Timber can just run in, and that's what he's doing. Good dodge from Neon. Well done. Huge play from Neon. They get to farm the entire bottom side of the map now. Huge outplay from Neon. It does mean that if they go bottom to farm, which they're gonna do, right? The Deuce is definitely gonna. Well, okay, she didn't. She probably was. Yeah, okay. So you can see the CK and the Deuce did farm up these camps. They dodged the gank, get out, farm the camps. They gotta fight this Roche though. I don't know if they can though. Honestly, I don't see a world in which they can fight. I don't see how the CK does any damage to anyone. Like I don't feel like they have to kill the Grim and the Nyx. Is how I see this. They have to kill the Grim and the Nyx. They find the Nyx. Okay. It does mean that, he doesn't even die. He gets off his Carapace. This buys a lot of time. That means the Roche is going to finish. They catch the Mars with a Shackle and a Stun. Doesn't mean anything, though. Timber Chain onto the side. The CK is in a really bad spot. They kill off the Mars completely. So, good start to the fight from Neon. I'm not convinced they're going to win it, though. I mean, they completely get him, though, on the Mars. This must have been a really good chain stun. He just got stuck. What did he die to? Just, like, Deuce clicks? I feel like it was mostly the Shaman Awards hitting him in the back, but that doesn't seem like it's true. No, I feel like it was mostly Shaman. He kind of turned away as well, so his bulwark was not really working after the Stone Gaze. I guess it was largely just the Stone Gaze, kind of a problem for Mars, because when you have to turn away from the Stone Gaze, you obviously then, you know, don't get your bulwark, so maybe a good fight for them. Oh, this guy's probably dead. Wow, they're just getting outplayed. I mean, I will be honest, I have a main opinion on why this is such a bad fight for them, what Summit did so wrong. I think the big mistake, I mean, not only do I think this is a big mistake, I think it's egregious now that I'm looking at it. I mean, I don't know why Nyx would run forward here. And you might be like, Nyx runs forward here speed so they can get Roche. It's like, yeah, that's if you think your team can't fight if they jump in. But like, what do they jump in with? Like, if they want to contest this Roche, what do they jump in with? CK? No. Like, he's just gonna get clicked by the TV. He can't jump in. Tiny can't jump in. Same thing. Tiny can, like, jump in and be annoying, but it's not going to do anything. Right? Like, this guy bought a 4-staff. He's not killing anybody. He's just being annoying. So I don't feel like Nyx should do this at all. Like, I think this is a wild misplay from Nyx. It's like, it's one of those plays that you make when you're, like, losing and going for some secret sneak Roche. It's not a play you make when... This is not the play when you're freaking ahead and, like, with good matchups. It just doesn't make any sense. And the same thing with the Mars. How did he even get caught? Like, he's so far away from his team. And the problem with this is Timber can't follow this up. Timber can't follow this up. It's just far away. How did this guy even get caught like this? It's pre-X by Chuan. I mean, good play by Chuan, but you kind of have to expect that that's going to happen. You're, like, in vision. This is so crazy to me. How are they playing like this? Like, he's not even behind the trees. Like, you're literally just in vision. Like, what? All right, well, you make mistakes, you punish. You get punished for it. CK stun comes out, he just dies from full on Mars, doesn't get a single good spell out. Just gets stuck in the Shaman Wards, and man, Summit's just got, I don't know, man, they just got work to do. They're just misplaying. It's just misplays. It's like this Nyx is not understanding the game state, I feel. I mean, Mars is just over jumping into a Shaman without BKBing. He like jumps a Shaman without BKBing. I don't even think jumping Shaman's bad if you click BKB. I think if you take the Shaman out at the beginning of the fight, that's totally reasonable, but they're just like, I don't know, man. Neon's just clearly the better team. I think they completely got outdrafted. And I'm not a type of person to like say, outdraft, outdraft, outdraft. I'm not a big fan of the word outdraft because I think most drafts have like ways to play the draft. I just feel like this is mostly Summit messing up and giving Neon too many gaps. Hopefully this makes sense as well. Hopefully when I'm talking, you guys see the actual mistakes and gaps. I feel like I am trying to make it clear. I just want people to actually see this stuff. All right, the game is still relatively even after everything going crazy. But finally, Deuce now is level 25, which gives her the split shot multiplier. She has her DPS item in the Silver Edge, so she actually does a little bit of damage now. And so the game is, you know, it's there. It's winnable for both sides. Still, even after they've thrown multiple fights in a row, in my opinion, they still can win. They still can win. Why? Because this Tiny's poor as shit, because it's a mid-Tiny and this hero sucks. CK almost has completed AC. That would be a huge timing. All right, jump comes out. Let's see this jump. Is it a good jump? They can kill the Tiny from full if they play with an Inkswell. They're gonna try. They didn't really get much value out of the Inkswell. The Mars just died from full. How? Dude, what in the world? How do you not black King Bar? All right, unlucky, I guess. I mean, it happens, right? Like, we all make these mistakes. I'm just surprised. Is Timber dead as well? It just feels like they're not, I don't know, it feels like they're not enabling this TB at all. They just keep jumping and like, okay, here we go. TB might outman up this Dusa. He needs a Sunder target. Doesn't find one. And at this point in the game, it's tough. Like, Timber has a tough time going in now. But no BKB, it's just too easy for him to get disabled. And this happens in Timber games. If you lose a couple fights in a row, this hero can become not, like, pretty underwhelming, to be frank. Like, and you might be like, oh, but then, like, so this hero just falls off then? It's like, no, this hero doesn't fall off. Like, because it can get to the point where when you get, like, a BKB Shivas this game or something like that, or just a BKB, you can just go in and then you kind of just stick on top of the CK or something like that. And then when their BKB ends, you just kind of destroy them. And you basically match their BKB, and then when both BKBs end, you kind of destroy them. And because you're playing Timber, you can buy a late BKB, right? And then so your BKB duration can often be longer late game, and that can be a big thing. And they just lose. So well done to Neon. I feel like Summit played this game quite poorly, to be frank. I feel like they have a lot to work on in terms of their decision making and their just fight selection. I feel like their ability to bring the fight to the Terrorblade is just not there. I feel like Terrorblade couldn't hit anyone because of decision making from the initiators this game. Just also, you know, some misspells and shit happens. Some misspells, some builds I don't agree with, and mostly just some gameplay issues. And that's why usually most of high-level Dota comes down to gameplay, in my opinion. But alright, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.